So how to create eye-grabbing, attention-getting thumbnails that get your videos viewed over other competitors. So this is going to be a really intense kind of session about really in-depth how to create the science behind creating thumbnails. It's actually going to be a separate course, so you guys have kind of pre-access to it right now, all the content. So what are thumbnails? Basically, you know thumbnails. If someone doesn't know thumbnails, then they just started on YouTube. But the specification aspect ratio is 16 by 9. 16 units long, 9 units that. That's a standard kind of. A lot of laptop screens, they have 16 by 10. So you might see the bar at the top if you kind of edit in that. Recommended dimensions, I always create them in 1920 by 1080 pixels. That's the kind of dimension I play with. Gives enough resolution so that it's not too blurry if you expand it. And the recommended size under 1 megabyte. Okay, how to enable custom thumbnails? If you just started your channel, you have to verify your channel in order to get the custom thumbnail feature. Otherwise, it won't allow you. So you have to verify it with your phone number on your mobile device. Why are they so important? Okay, this is for a keyword, for example, how to advertise on Facebook. In a split second, which one would you choose, or which one grabs your eyes? This one, right? Yeah, because it has like really bright colors. These are really boring. It has big text, big bold ones. So obviously, our eyes kind of go down here, and then it goes this way, and we read the headline. Thumbnails are the first point of contact, even on the related video side. The purpose of the thumbnails is to convert an impression, so just a view of all the videos, to a click and a view. You want to increase your click-through rate. Okay, the number of clicks you get to that video over how many people actually scrolled past and viewed the thumbnail. The higher the click-through rate, the better it is for your ranking. So how do you do that? You have an amazing headline. You know how to create an amazing headline. You have a really powerful thumbnail that pops out. Both of those. So this, in the whole step of the marketing process, from impressions to conversions, thumbnails are about here. You want to get, the better your thumbnails are, the more video views you'll get. So that's the thumbnails are the bottleneck right here. So then once you do that, then you can work on the other parts of the marketing funnel. So increase engagement, increase the retention rate, increase the link clicks, and finally conversions. So click-through rate example, imagine if you get 1,000 impressions a day, people searching 10 clicks to your video, that's a 1% click-through rate. That's quite low. Imagine if it was 1,000 impressions a day, but 250 clicks to your video. If it's on the first page, 25% click-through rate. It's really good. Factors that affect click-through rate, ranking position. The higher it is, if it's first position, you can get the most click-through rate, most likely. Thumbnail design and the colors. How does it pop out? How strong is it? The title, the headline, even the text inside the thumbnail. So why must you stand out? To capture the attention of searchers and the viewers. People have like a split second these days. You gotta like zoom in on there.
Yeah, you know with the previous one,
yeah,
the ranking. You know, some of them what they do, they buy views. There are so many websites you can buy views. So when they buy the views, it's like some of them it's real, but they design it in somehow. So that one will increase their ranking.
Yes,
but
that's right.
How YouTube allow that?
It doesn't in the terms and conditions. It doesn't allow it. However, there's certain sites, kind of gray sites, that have found a way around it, so YouTube can't detect it. So
it does work.
It does work, but you have to find the right source. Otherwise, if it's a bad source, it could get you banned. So it's very risky, but it can give you a lot of benefit. I've used it for some channels just to test it. It works amazing. Okay.
Some of them is real. Yes, like
subscribe below for the link. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is powerful because you get high retention use. So we can cover that. To capture attention, be the main choice. What's the power of organic ranking versus paid ranking? Is because people see it and trust Google. They trust YouTube to give them the best result. If you're on the first result, you're automatically trusted. So if you're on the first page, the first choice, it's like YouTube coming with a silver platter and saying, watch this. So it's really important to have it on the first page. So where thumbnails are visible, obviously the main page, on the sidebar. So obviously, we look through this, maybe this one captures a bit of attention. These ones are brighter. Also in the end screens. So this is called the end screen. So the last 20 seconds of the video, or 10 seconds, you can add some videos here as next choices, next watches. So you can customize these.
How do you do that in YouTube?
In the editor.
In
So
the
the-
YouTube editor? Or
yeah.
Your editor? Oh, okay.
In the YouTube editor, once you upload a video, there's a little icon that says end screen. And then you can add them in.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you?
It's very easy.
So is that where you add like you get like little bits of information can pop up?
No, that's annotate. That's something else.
Oh.
Yeah. This is end screen is like for videos, for your subscribe button.
Okay, but would you do the annotations in that same part of YouTube?
There's another
different part of
option.
YouTube.
Yeah, there's an option.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but it's all in the same editor window.
Oh.
You just have to click on the right option.
How do you do the red frame around the...
Oh, this is just me in the image editor just to highlight.
Okay, that's
Yeah, it's not in the YouTube.
No, because I noticed that some big YouTubers do a red frame in their thumbnail just to click.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
And it grabs attention. It makes it stand out. It depends on your image editor. You can just add a border around the image, and then you can have that naturally in there. Yeah, make it bright yellow, bright red, bright whatever. So before you create, make sure to see how you can create better thumbnails than your competition. First, study the market. Maybe there's already lots of great thumbnails. Have a look first, see how you can stand out. Then be different. Okay, then be different. So let's go to the psychology of thumbnails. The typical attention span. These days, so many messages coming in, so much stuff, our attention span has kind of gone lower than it was, say, 5-10 years ago. Okay? Text versus images. We all know the phrase, picture's worth 1,000 words. You can process it really quickly. Actually, there's scientific evidence behind this. MIT neuroscience found that the brain can identify images in as little as 13 milliseconds. With text, we have to actually process it extra. First we see the visual, then we have to piece together all that. So subjects were seeing new images more than 20 times as fast as vision typically absorbs information. So that's why thumbnails are so important. To remember pictures better because they elicit multiple representations, memories that are two areas for remembering pictures and words, completely different. So we have the kind of visual part of our brain and the analytical part of our brain. So human connects with humans. So add a face to your thumbnail for maximum results. If you just have text and stuff, people react to people's emotions. You see a picture of someone smiling, what are you going to do? Probably smile as well. See someone angry, you probably kind of get that emotional response as well. So add a face to your thumbnail. So this is another kind of neuroscience part. The human amygdala part of the brain parametrically encodes the intensity of specific facial emotions and their categorical ambiguity. Basically that means that when you look at an image of someone like smiling or happy or angry, it kind of triggers that part of your brain in the same way. Yeah, exactly. So the results indicate that websites with images, or you can replace that with videos, with thumbnails, that include facial characteristics are more positively received by users than images without. So that's why I always have me in funny positions on the videos, because it grabs attention. Reconnect. Oh yeah, go for it. Okay. Reconnect with emotions, because we're always on the lookout for emotional cues and images, especially of people. Okay, it's great to do that. So before you create any thumbnails, ask yourself this: will a thumbnail stop the viewer from scrolling down the page? Will it get the viewer to click on your video? Okay, those are the two most important questions. The anatomy of the perfect thumbnail. Let's get right into the details. The colors, here's some principles. Colors, text styles, text size, text font, the contrast, the shapes and the patterns, the photos, the rule of thirds, and the simplicity. We'll get through each of these and why they're important. First of all, colors. Choose bright, bold colors, such as red, orange, yellow, bright pink, purple, even neon, something that really comes out. Choose the dominant thumbnail color based on the opposite of your competitors' thumbnails. So let's say you go through and most of them are kind of green or they're kind of blue. That's kind of very soft colors. Maybe you want to put a big red thumbnail there. It just pops right out. So there's two kind of concepts of warm colors, which are like blue, or no, warm colors which are like red, yellow, orange, and then cold colors which are like blue and kind of cold like this. So example, I searched something like this. Most of the thumbnails here are green and blue, as you can see, like overall if you had to average it out. So therefore you should choose something that's more bright, like red or orange, to really pop out. It's too busy as well for some of these. It's too much happening. Here's a test that I kind of came up with. It's called the 100 pixel test. What you do is you resize your thumbnail to a width of 100 pixels. You can do that in most image editors. Just resize it. If you can read the text, then it passes the test. If you can't read the text, then it either needs to be bigger, the text needs to be bigger, bolder, or it needs to be higher contrast and brightness color. So for example, can any of you read that? It's probably like really, really small, right? Hard to read. But this one, much easier. So that passes the 100 pixel test. It's a really good kind of test you can do for all your thumbnails. Because I've had clients where I said, okay, make the text bigger. Then make it like bigger like this. Like, no, I mean like huge bigger. So that's a good test to do. Text font. All caps kind of forces you to read slower. It's been proven. That's why some of these big stop signs or road signs have all caps, because if it was just normal like this, you can read it much faster because we're used to that. Vary the size of words to emphasize focus and change up the colors of words for different focus or contrast. You can see like this is pretty boring. Okay, this is like all caps. This is with the larger thing for less important words smaller, and then we're going to change up the different colors here. Higher contrast, easier to read. So if the background is dark, make the text light. And vice versa. If it's light, make the text dark. So for example, this one, you can hardly read it. Kind of blends in. This one is much better. Same with this. You can't even see that. It's like orange blending in. If colors have the low contrast, okay, then use text outlines. Text shadows or colored shape background behind the text. Here's an example, sort of text outlines, shadows, or backgrounds like this. Kind of really helps it stand out. Your eyes naturally follow lines. We're kind of programmed by that. When we're driving the car, we're following the middle line, the right line. So add backgrounds that direct your eyes to certain key focus areas, maybe a face, maybe an object, maybe a certain thing. So if this wasn't here, and you look at here, focus here, you might wonder which place to focus on, which word. Maybe the bigger one. Here, you see all the lines go into this word. So even if you read this, focus here, your eyes are naturally drawn back to this place. Your eye goes here. It's really, really good. Add photos of objects or faces. So you add more impact to the thumbnail. Now here we're going to get into the rule of thirds. It's kind of photography, videography kind of concept where your screen is divided into nine different areas, or thirds. Thirds horizontally, thirds vertically. And we can center objects of interest or on intersections. So this is like it's based on certain, like the golden principle, if you've heard of that. It appears in nature. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It looks beautiful. So if we kind of follow this principle, everything looks really great. So this is, let's say, your thumbnail. You kind of divide it into these different equal thirds, both horizontally, vertically.
got like the close-up and the middle close-up and
Yeah, so you can focus certain points, like for example the horizon on this line or this line. I'll show you some examples. So you align certain objects here, maybe your face here, maybe here you might be another object to focus. Maybe you have something up here centered, or in the middle, or in the bottom. Or maybe at the intersections you might have certain points. So for example, when I'm filming an interview, I'm going to make sure this intersection is like right here. So that I'm talking this way, and the person is here. So there's space, there's look into space. This is important. I don't want to be over here. So there's all this unused space. I'm going to be looking here. So we're going to line myself up with the center third, right about this level, eye level here. I usually use this one as eye level, and I look this way, or here. Then I have maybe a desk lamp or something aligned with here. Here's an example. This is an unoptimized image of some sort of stone structure. And then if it's applied to the rule of thirds, I know it's hard to see, it's aligned with this third line right here. It looks really great. And the horizon is lined with this one. Okay, here's some more examples. Align the text right here. I align it with this one, and the eyes and head are aligned. And the text is centered between here, here, and here. It makes really good rules of thumb. Simplicity, important. Keep your thumbnails simple. Don't clutter or add too much stuff in there. There's too much going on in here. All right? Nobody has time to kind of make out what is this video about. So before you create, go through this checklist. Text passes the 100 pixel test. The font is interesting and varied. The text contrast is high, or outlines or shadows are used to make it pop out. Bold colors are used in the background and the text that stands out from the competitors. And engaging face photo and object images are added. And the rule of thirds has been followed. The thumbnail is simple and not too cluttered. This is the basic, and optional shapes and patterns are used. So this is a checklist that I use for all my YouTube thumbnails. Tools to create thumbnails. I use canva.com. This is free to use. It obviously has some like paid stuff as well, but for the basic stuff, you log in with your Facebook or your Google account, create a free account, and then you create a new image size, 1920 by 1080, that aspect ratio. Pick this one, and you can upload backgrounds, background layers, and then you can create text in there as well. You download it straight from the cloud.
Where do you get your background, the yellow background?
Ah, good one. So I get it from Pixabay, pixabay.com.
Is it for free or?
Free, copyright free. They're not even royalty free, they're like copyright free. So you can use it for any commercial project without even mentioning it.
which one? This one?
No, this is Canva,
Oh.
but the image is Pixabay, Pixabay.com. That's a good one. PicMonkey.com is another alternative to Canva. Might have different features you might want to play around
It's
with.
not the free anymore now.
No.
Yeah, it's the free.
You got to pay. There's a 7-day trial, I believe. Paid tools. If you prefer using your desktop or your laptop, I use Pixelmator. It's more like feature rich on the desktop. Or if you're more advanced, you can use Photoshop or InDesign. Any questions about thumbnails? Oh, okay, pretty straightforward. So how to edit your video?
I've got a question.
Oh, yes.
Is it advisable to name your thumbnail, file name, your keywords?
Yes, that's a good point. So in the whole like all the factors, you named your video. Before you upload your thumbnail, add your keyword phrase, even the title of your video in there, and then upload it. It'll give another point of reference to YouTube what your video is about. So that's important. Okay, so how to edit your video on your computer or your smartphone quickly and easily. Android mobiles, if you have Android, these are some of the apps that you can use. Filmora Go, Viva Video, quick video editor, KineMaster, Funimate, all of these ones that you can use. Test them out, see which one you like the best. They all have great features. Some are more polished than others. So use that one. iPhone, you got iMovie, that's great. Filmora Go for iOS, perfect video. I use iMovie, it's really easy to use. Vimeo also has one, Pinnacle Studio. And YouTube specific apps can also do simple editing like splicing and transitions. The Creator Studio and the standard YouTube app.
Creator Studio is the new one now, yeah?
The newer one has a few more features.
Is Premiere Pro a little bit over the top then for YouTube?
Yeah, for desktop apps, if you're more into advanced stuff, if you're starting out, I would go for something simple.
I've used Pro before, but for some other things that I was doing at college, but I'd rather keep, if there's less options,
Yeah.
I'd rather keep it simple, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So
These are on you can do on your mobile phone?
these are all mobile, and then I'm going to go into desktop.
Oh, okay, right.
Desktop, laptop, Filmora, Wondershare. It's a great value for the features and benefits that it has. I think it's about $50 or $60, about 50 quid or something for this one. iMovie is free, comes with the Macs. Final Cut Pro, I use this one. It's for Mac only though. Adobe Premiere, like you said, it's just for Mac and PC. It's more kind of high end. So Filmora Wondershare is great for just starting out. It has great features. It even has like a green screen option, so you can edit out the green screen. Some good stuff. Screen recording, QuickTime, or Camtasia and ScreenFlow for recording the screen on your computer. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, the best royalty-free music is Epidemic Sound. So you license your channel on there, £10 a month. Put in any kind of genre, anything you want, and it'll give you hundreds of songs that are really professional. Okay, yeah, Epidemic Sound, EPIDEMIC, sound.com. Okay, so we don't have the time for the demonstration, but play around with the different apps and you get a feel for it. The main thing is the timeline and putting your video there, splicing them, adding effects between them, and you can also drag in audio files and kind of line it up as well. So just take some practice. There's a lot of tutorials out there on specific tools, how to use them. Okay, so when you have a chance, download the video editor. You have all the lists there, and then start editing some video, like create some clips. Because it's easier when you're on the mobile, it can just be anywhere, and you don't have to get out your laptop. You just film a few clips, and then while you're on the train or something, or the tube or whatever, you just put them together, render them, and then when you get some Wi-Fi, just upload it. It's super fast. And they have most of the modern features.